It's a bad week to be a bookie, ladies and gentlemen. These are my best bets entering week one of the SEC football season. Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn notifications. Check us out via podcast, wherever you get your podcast. You can also find us across all social media platforms, as well as our website, SECUnfiltered.com. We're brought to you by our friends over at MyBookie. Guys, go to mybookie.ag. Use promo code SECU at sign up to receive a special welcome offer on your first deposit. Again, that's mybookie.ag, promo code SECU to get your special welcome offer today. We're breaking the bookie all college football season long. These are my best bets for week one in the SEC as we pull up each of my bets. Guys, we will start with the action on Monday night. How about LSU and USC? LSU, a 4.5-point favorite in this game. The over-under sitting at 63.5 total points. Guys, I am hammering with all my might the over in this football game. Have both of these defenses improved over the course of the offseason? Sure, we got a pair of new defensive coordinators in Blake Baker for LSU and D'Anton Lynn for USC. Sure, I'm sure the defenses have taken steps forward. But realistically, how much better do you think these defenses have gotten? I mean, come on, guys. Haven't played a single game. How much better can you get in practice from being essentially historically bad to game one of this season? Both teams also feature elite offenses. Garrett Nussmeier, Kyron Lacey, C.J. Daniels, Caleb Jackson, and the best offensive line probably in college football on the LSU side and on the USC side. Yes, it's a new quarterback in Miller Moss. You've got Zachariah Branch on the outside, but they've got weapons. And oh, by the way, for everything Lincoln Riley isn't, he still is one of the best offensive minds in college football. So, guys, I love the over in this game. I think this is one of those. You smash the over. This is the right side of the bet to be on. If it goes the other way, so be it. But if I'm going to lose, it's going to be on this side. It's going to be being on the over. Points, 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 points. We're going for points in LSU USC over 63.5. Guys, my next bet, I go to Southern Miss and Kentucky. Guys, if you look at the history, I don't have the exact numbers pulled up here, but it's actually wild, however, the past, really in the Mark Stoops era. Kentucky has never really blown teams out. Like, when they play these smaller teams, I mean, guys, you look back last year at Eastern Kentucky. I mean, they had Eastern Kentucky. That was a one-score game going into the fourth quarter. Like, Kentucky has never, and I think it's maybe because the style they play with, or maybe it's the way Mark Stoops is wired or what have you. They have never been a team that just boat races people. Like, rarely do they ever cover the spread in these type of games. Kentucky, Southern Miss. Kentucky is a 28-point favorite. Guys, I'm hammering Southern Miss in the plus 28. You're going to give me 4 touchdowns in this ball game? Like, as good as I think Kentucky is this year, Kentucky's got a really bad tendency to play with their food, if you will, for lack of a better way of putting it. Southern Miss starting Tate Rodemaker at the quarterback position. I'm not saying Southern Miss is a great football team, guys, but again, it is just so on brand. This is going to be kind of a sloppy, like 17-10 game at half. Kentucky's going to win this football game, I don't know, 38-17, 34-17, something like that. It's not going to be flashy. It's not going to be wildly impressive. And Southern Miss is easily going to cover the 28 number. This is like free money. Southern Miss plus 28, lock it in. Let's go to Columbia. South Carolina taking on Old Dominion. Gamecocks are a 20.5, 21-point favorite, depending on where you get the line. Over, under, set at 53.5. The total's where I want to go with this. Old Dominion, the worst offensive line in college football season ago, gave up 61 sacks. Again, how much better can it get from that product to what we're going to see on Saturday in week one? You look at South Carolina, brand new quarterback in Lenora Sellers. The offensive line returns talent, but still Lots of question marks from a year ago. We all saw how South Carolina's line fared in 2023. Questions at wide receiver, right? Unproven commodities. You've got Rocket Sanders. You've got Oscar Attaway. You've got Juju McDowell. You would expect South Carolina is going to be ground and pound, run the football, and I think South Carolina's front seven is going to shut down Old Dominion. Guys, I love the under 53.5 because I think South Carolina's defense, I think there's a really good chance they hold Old Dominion to 10 points or less. Like, I think that is if I was looking at a team total right now, if you had Old Dominion at 10.5, I think it would be a really tough bet, honestly, because I think there's a good chance the Gamecocks hold Old Dominion to 10 points or less. So you're telling me all I have to do is South Carolina has to score 40 plus to hit that over? There's no way. There's no way, guys. I'm admittedly, I'm not very high on South Carolina's offense, and I think this is going to be a game where they're just kind of trying to trudge their way through week one. The game is never in doubt, but I think it's going to be heavy dose of the South Carolina running game. They're not going to ask Lenora Sellers to do a ton. You're not going to see a bunch of downfield shots. You're not going to see a bunch of deep passes or anything like that. My final score prediction for this was 27-10. I think it's something like that. I think South Carolina's defense dominates. I think offensively it's a very conservative run-first approach, shortens the game. This under will hit easily. Guys, let's go to Georgia Clemson in Atlanta. Dogs are a 13-point favorite. The over-under, I think it's around like 56. I may have missaw that. I think it's like 56 and a half, something like that. Either way, total doesn't matter because we're looking at the number here. Can Clemson make this a rock fight early? I think they can. Will it be a close game at halftime? It very well might. But guys, I just don't see a position group where Clemson has an advantage over Georgia. Georgia minus 13. I think the Dogs at least win this by 2 touchdowns. I think they pull away late in this game. I do not see where Clemson's going to have an answer. I think that Georgia defense is going to be in the grill of Cade Klubnik all game long. The matchup between Clemson's receivers and Georgia's secondary, that's not even fair. They're going to shut them down. They're going to make Clemson one-dimensional. You get one-dimensional against Georgia, you have no shot. And I think Carson Beck and the boys, even if Trevor Etienne is suspended, guys, whoever's in the backfield for Georgia, they're going to be running behind one of the best offensive lines in college football. I think you're going to see a big day from Georgia. And I think a pissed-off Georgia, a pissed-off Kirby Smart, the Georgia Bulldogs come out. I think they want to make a statement in week one, especially how last year ended. Georgia minus 13. Hammer the Dogs. Let's go to Nashville. The Virginia Tech Hokies are a 13.5-point favorite against the Vanderbilt Commodores. Guys, I'm surprised how small this spread is. I really am. I don't know what Vegas knows that I don't, but Vanderbilt's roster is not good. And now, could things get squirrely with Diego Pavia and the offense? Like, maybe. But, guys, this is a veteran Virginia Tech team. I mean, when I say veteran, they're returning like 90% of their ball club. Veteran team. They'll approach this the right way. They're not going to be sleeping on Vandy or anything like that. I think Virginia Tech covers. I think Virginia Tech blows out Vanderbilt. I don't think it's a close game. I love the Hokies on the number minus 13.5 here against Vandy. I don't see where Vandy has an answer for Va Tech. And I think once this thing gets out of hand, it's going to get out of hand in a hurry. And finally, guys, we go to Gainesville, the spot that I'll be this weekend for the SEC Unfiltered Tour as the Florida Gators take on the Miami Hurricanes. Canes are a 2.5-point favorite. Going to be a raucous environment. Cam Ward and the boys coming into town. College football playoff caliber roster there in Coral Gables. Mario Cristobal, Billy Napier, the hot seat bowl, who comes out on top. Guys, I don't like Florida on the number. I like Florida on the money line. Give me the Gators to pull out the outright upset at home. It is going to be a hungry, desperate crowd. I like some of the matchups for Florida, obviously. When it comes to Cam Ward, going to be the biggest crowd, most hostile environment. I think they're going to send the pressure. I think that defense gets after him. I've got Florida winning this football game. I've got Florida on the money line. Love the play. The home dog gets it done and pulls the upset in week one. So again, guys, my best bets for week one of the SEC football season: LSU USC over 63.5. Southern Miss plus 28. Old Dominion South Carolina under 53.5. Georgia minus 13. Va Tech minus 13.5. And Florida on the money line. When you look at the board this week, guys, do you agree with me? Do you disagree? What are your best bets of week 1 of the SEC football season? Guys, that's going to do it off me. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn notifications. Check us out via podcast, wherever you get those as well. You can also find us across all social media platforms as well as our website, SECUnfiltered.com. Until next time, I'm Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in, and we'll catch you on the other side.